Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Governor91 and I'm addicted to being a judge. So I want to just jump in straight away, see what we have. Okay. I've prepared documents for your upcoming case, left them on the table in the courtroom. Your most recent case did not take up too much of your valuable time. This is the case regarding the murder. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh shit, we've reviewed your last case and fined you $100. Shit. We strongly advise you be more accurate with your decision. Get fucked, man. Oh yeah, I liked everything. Alright, let's go straight in. What's this? What's this? Wait, what? File a lawsuit? Why would I need to file a lawsuit? Why would I need to file a lawsuit on me? Wait, what? Okay, hold on. Alright. What's our new case? Yes. Are quite pleased with dedicated. Okay, that's not bad. Government loyalty is at 70%. That's kind of good, I guess. I don't know if I care about that. Okay. This is just the pre-hearing, so let's have a look. My client is serving his sentence at a prison for a crime he committed. Okay. However, in recent days, an action has been taken, such as sentencing my client to solitary confinement, despite not exhibiting any negative behavior. The prison administration has abused its authority. During this process, my client has experienced psychological and physical distress. We are filing a complaint against the prison administration for this reason. Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you. Miss Lady that's sitting so uncomfortably for me. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Jesus, okay. My client, the prison administration, would like to remind conditions that criminals must adhere to. Yeah. But okay, sorry. Would like to remind you that the conditions that criminals must adhere to as stipulated by the law. The regulations prescribe punishment for prisoners who do not adhere to these conditions. Albert Newton has found to have skipped a meal during the cafeteria hours and initiated a hunger strike, which led to his sentence. Oh, well, straight away that's a problem. Starting a strike is prohibited according to the prison regulations and is punishment by solitary confinement. There is no basis for the unfounded claims, but he has a freedom of speech. I don't see any probable cause here. I'm not going to lie. Your Honor, the witness, Laura Mentes, has a close relationship with the prison warden. Therefore, it is not possible for her to respond impartially in the request that you reject her testimony as witness. But she has a close relationship, but you're saying that you don't want her to have. But she has a close relationship with the warden. No. If you reject, you will acknowledge. I'm not going to accept that. No, I'm going to hear her out. If she's a close friend, then there shouldn't be any issues in the defense when it comes to that. Order. Order. Eeny, meeny, miny, you. The relationship between the public will increase by 5 points. Yes! Order. Alright. Let's have a quick look here. Let's see. Indifferent, anxious, sloppy. Fair enough, well, he's just out of prison. Respectful, anxious, neat. Anxious? Interesting. Alright, let's have a quick look. Although he did not exhibit any negative behavior during his time in prison, claimed that he was sentenced to solitary confinement and suffered psychological harm as a result. Therefore, he's filing a lawsuit against the prison administration. He alleges he was subjected to inhumane treatment at the prison, that the prison administration unlawfully implemented its duty and responsibility. Okay. The prison administration, on the other hand, stated that the prisoner was sentenced to solitary confinement because he did not comply with the necessary instructions and conditions, and there was no unlawful situation. Okay, perfect. Inmate information. Okay, right now. Oh, there's more. Inmate status. It has been determined that the prisoner has not eaten in 3 days. It has been determined that the prisoner... Wait, what is this? Inmate status form. Okay. It has been determined that the prisoner has initiated a hunger strike by refusing to eat in prison. Despite the necessary warnings by prison staff, he continued to strike. It has been decided to examine the prisoner in the infirmary due to the potential health risks. Okay. Inmate cannot pose a security threat to prison staff. Inmates cannot attempt to escape. Fair enough. Inmates cannot initiate a hunger strike. That's number 4. So, conditions of solitary confinement. Okay. Cannot invade violent behavior. Inmates cannot participate in a riot. Inmates cannot jeopardize this personal safety. Inmates cannot smuggle contraband in within the prison, and inmates cannot continuously violate the rules. Interesting. Okay. I feel like there's a free speech issue here because he is technically allowed to do so. Okay, we're gonna listen to the plaintiff. Albert. Unemployed, Albert. Well, I hope you're unemployed. Criminal record, yes. Let's have a look. He's in for murder. Okay. So he's not denying that he committed the crime. So that's fine. So he's aware of his violent past. Okay. His term is 6 years for murder. There's something going on there. All right. Let's see what you have to say. What were your behaviors before the sentencing of solitary confinement? I did not exhibit any negative behavior in the prison. I followed all the rules. All the rules. All the rules. Did you experience any illegal intervention during the solitary confinement process? Certainly. However, since the witnesses presented to the court are from the prison administration, they will not mention it. Interesting. Did you have any intent to incite a riot? Never. I never had such an intention. Why would I ask that? I'm only defending my rights because I believe that I did not deserve solitary confinement. Thank you. I wouldn't have asked those questions. I would have just asked the question, were you starting a hunger strike? Why did the prisoner not eat during the criteria hours and start a hunger strike? The prisoner exhibited behavior contrary to the prison discipline and initiated a hunger strike. Why? Perhaps in somewhat of an amusing way, he aimed to establish a power balance over the prison administration. But you will agree that this is not possible. Don't tell me what I'll agree to. Is the regulation applied to the prisoners in compliance with the law, or is there any behavior that was not in accordance with the law? It was entirely in compliance, sir. As you know, there are certain provisions under Article 13 for such situations. The prison administration has used its authority within the framework of the regulations to maintain order. Well, we will be checking that. Prisoners may file a lawsuit against penalties. The court assesses the right to prisoners. Wait, hold on. Article 13. Well, what's Article 13? What's Article 13? I'm going to have to check that out now. What's Article 13? What's Article 13? Where do I find that? She mentioned Article 13. Why can't I look that up? No. Something's not right. Article 13. Okay, I'm gonna have to wing it on this one. How is the situation of the prisoner sentenced to solitary confinement evaluated? How was it done? The situation of the prisoner sentenced to solitary confinement is evaluated based on their non-compliance with the prison regulations. And the appropriate punishment is applied. You can step down. Okay, I need to speak to some witnesses. George Perez, please. Can you provide information about the behavior of the prisoner sentenced to solitary confinement? Who are you? You're a cleaner. Okay. The prisoner lifted a tray placed in front of him and threw it on the floor, sir. Afterwards, he started yelling, "Hunger strike, revolt, don't be a herd, hunger strike." Right. What is the psychological condition of the prisoner before being sentenced to solitary confinement? There was no noticeable or unusual change in his general mood before. However, I can say that he exhibited more tense behavior after solitary confinement. Perhaps he succumbed to the desire for revenge. Oh. Earlier you mentioned the prisoner's behavior inciting a revolt. Was this behavior supported by the other prisoners, or do you think that... No, Your Honor. It was just watched in astonishment by everybody. Some were indifferent, some just laughed. There was no evidence that he planned this with others, in my opinion. In my opinion, it was spontaneous, developed outburst from personal anger. Okay. So far, he did shout. He tried to incite a revolt, which I'm not happy with, but we'll see. What do you think about the situation of the prisoner sentenced to solitary confinement? The prisoner's behavior was evaluated according to the prison regulations and acted upon in accordance with the law, sir. Okay, not bad. As a manager. What, are you a prison manager? Was there any situation or disproportionate intervention that would negatively affect the prisoner's psychology? Frankly, there is no evidence of such a thing. To maintain order, the regulations stipulated that by law were followed. I don't like how you're being so straight with me on this. What are your thoughts on the prisoner's allegations? Your Honor, prisoners sometimes exhibit such behavior to escape from their environment. Since I am not fully informed about the events in the current case, it would not be ethical for me to define the statement. Why are you here? What a fucking waste of my time. Laura, we need to talk. Laura. Nurse. Laura Martinez. Hola. How was the physical condition of the prisoner? How was the physical condition of the prisoner affected by his solitary confinement? I did not witness weight loss, sleep deprivation, or self-harming behaviors. However, I can say that he exhibited more tense behavior compared to before. Perhaps he gave into his desire for revenge. That's the second time that that's been said. Did the prisoner receive any unusual counseling or psychiatric medication related to his mental health before his behavior? No. As you know, routine examinations are conducted for every prisoner at regular intervals. There was no need for an additional counseling or medication for this prisoner. Do you have anything to add about the mental health of the prisoner, or do you have any recommendations for the court or the prison administration? The prisoner does not have any mental health issues, sir. I believe that the prison administration should keep him separate and monitor the process. So why did they not want her to talk? So far, it just seems like he attempted to incite a riot, and it didn't work. So, okay. The court assesses the legality and perpetuity of the penalty. It may annul or rectify the penalty if it is unjust or unnecessary. The right of a prisoner to appeal. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm very tired today. I apologize. Okay. I think it's decision time. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's decision time. Defendant, I don't think that they did anything wrong. I genuinely think he's innocent, as a witness. I genuinely think that the prisoner is innocent in this. Like, they didn't do anything wrong. The defendant is innocent. What do you mean that's insane? What do you mean that's insane? He had a right to free speech, but he broke the rules. The public is demanding an increase in penalties for crimes such as murder and theft. What are your thoughts on this? Murder and theft? We should take the public's demand into consideration. I think you should always take the public's demand into consideration. It's their society. What do we have? Christopher Gert? versus Nobsbart. Oh, I'm not even going to attempt this. Fuck off. Like, for the fact that I'm reading at the fucking speed I have been and doing that, that's enough for me. Hello. Oh, it's the mayor. Hello, Your Honor. I hope I'm not disturbing you. Not at all. I have limited time, but I can spare some for you. I know how precious your time is, Your Honor. I have a case to be heard shortly, so I'd like to hear what you have to say. Yes, I'm calling you specifically about that matter. Okay. In today's case, I believe our... I assume that you've realized this. I assume that you've realized your decision will be in favor of that, won't it? Oh. I'm surprised that you have such the audacity to ask me such a question. That's enough talking for now. Yeah, it is. Fuck right off. Not in your pocket, bitch. As you know, there's many allegations made before the case. Okay. Fucking stop sending me an email to say that you've left this stuff on my desk. Just leave it for me. What do we got? What was Article 13? Alright, we're not gonna see it. Okay. Wait, did I do anything wrong there? No, let's go pre-trial. Pre-trial! Yeah. Public loyalty. Yes. Yeah, I think it's... listen, if the public genuinely want it, then we should listen to the public. It is their laws. Plaintiff, you can speak. James Stewart. My client came across several high-value historical artifacts while excavating for archaeological purposes on his land and immediately reported the situation to the authorities. However, as soon as the authorities arrived, they cordoned off a large area, and prohibited access. Then they informed us that the municipality would acquire a substantial portion of the land and provide an offer regarding the price. However, the price they communicated and pressured us... they communicated and pressured us to sell at the well below the actual value of the land. Therefore, we are requesting the payment of the true value of the land to us. Abso-fucking-lutely. Look at you. What are you wearing? Promptly arrived in the scene upon the call. I already don't like you. Following an examination of the expert personnel, determined that there were even more historical artifacts beneath the ground in that area that would increase its value. A decision for an immediate was made for the land. An appropriate price for the land was determined and delivered to the rightful owner. According to the law, it is mandatory to sell at the price determined by... Ooh. It's mandatory, so you can... We request the dismissal of the plaintiff's demands. No, not at all. Your Honor, when my client, an honest citizen, discovered historical, he prompted that. And, however, my client's sole source of income is agricultural land. We earnestly request that you take this into consideration. I will. I'm already on side of the public on this one because, like, first of all, this fucking dick comes up in a leather jacket in my courtroom. Still wearing a... Whoa. Your relationship with your family will increase. Yes. Sit down. What is this? First of all, what is this right now? Respectful. Appearance is neat. Appearance is sloppy. Indifferent. Careless. Right. We're already not on your side right now. We're already... Ooh. Okay. Let's see. 1992. On the other hand, it's stated that the region is more important for her than a fair price was offered. I don't think a fair price... It doesn't sound like a fair price was offered at the moment. Historical contain information about objects found in... Okay, let's go to the next page. Okay. I don't really care about that. The decision to be made for X probate, I think it is. Exprobate? I don't know. Of the land on parcels is to the value of due to the presence of the remains of historical land, right? How big was the land? The land was determined to be worth $1 million. That's a load of shit, man. Important points of soil type. Location. I'm already massively on their side on this. What's the law on this? Property owners or affected parties by the lawsuit. It's made by... May follow a suit in this. The court evaluates whether the I'm not going to say that decision is lawful and whether the is necessary for the public interest. If it is determined that was not in compliance with the laws and there was no public interest required, the decision is annulled and or revised. I don't think we need to get to that stage. I just think that at this stage, I'm looking at this from a point of I don't think that they gave a fair price for the land, and I think that we need to get... Okay. Your Honor, we consulted with an expert on the matter. Okay. After conducting the necessary assessments, the expert stated that the value is $1.12 million. Okay. What was the price proposed by the minister? 500,000, Your Honor, which is less than half of the value. Yeah, that's disgusting. What criteria did you consider for the land's true value? We considered factors such as sale prices for similar plots, fair enough. Regional appraisals and expert opinions, fair enough. Okay. I will hear the defense, which... How was the expert decisions made for the land? Our experts evaluated this the significance of the historical artifacts in the excavated area and made the decision for that. Okay. Wait, let me just check this very quick. What is it? Evidence. Let's see. An ancient statue, a mosaic piece, and a mummified wolf. Type gold. Type gold. Type stone. What does that mean? ST. What's ST stand for? I'm starting to think that there's a possibility that you rip them off. Is the price offered to land order in accordance with the law? Yes. The price offered to the landowner has been assessed in compliance with the law. Okay. What are the consequences if the landowner refuses to sell the land? We will follow the legal processes and resort to the courts if necessary. Our aim is to proceed with a purchase that is in the public interest. Okay, well, we'll make the decision now. Annabelle, up to the stand, please. What is the significance of the historical artifacts found in the excavated area? Reflect the culture and historical value of the region. Fair enough. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so it is of significant value. What kind of discussion did you have when contacting the landowner? We had a discussion with the landowner explaining the importance of the historical artifacts and the exploration process. Oh my god, exploration process. Duh. What type of information was provided to the landowner after the exploration? Information was provided that the exploration process would be carried out legally and the rights of the landowner would be protected. Right, but you didn't though, did you? You didn't really protect his rights, did you? Clementine. Alright, Clementine. How did the process unfold? Exploration process proceeded in accordance with legal procedures, considering the significance of the historical artifacts and the rights of the landowner. What was the value of the land to be determined? The value of the land was determined through appraisal work conducted by experts and regional assessments. Okay. Was a fair price offered? Yes. A fair price was offered, and the public interest was presented to the landowner. I'm like, there's no way it's that big of a difference. Specialist. Oh, here we go. What steps were taken if the landowner refuses to sell the land? Legal proceedings are initiated, and the exploration process continues in accordance with the legal procedures. Oh, okay. Interesting. How are the landowner's rights protected? The landowner's rights and legal protections are upheld through the exploration process, with regular information provided at each stage. Go on. Why is the price offered to the landowner considered inadequate? The pricing offered to the landowner was considered inadequate in accordance with the actual value of the land, but it was believed that a more detailed assessment would have been conducted during the process. Oh my god, here we go. That's it. That's it. What do you mean the files weren't examined? What files weren't examined? Oh, was that the only one? Okay. Right, we're making a decision. It's decision time. Wait, which one is which? The size and the witness are heard to the court. Wait. Wait, I'm so confused. Wait. Wait. wait, I wanted to say. Oh, wait, I'm confused now. Has been cancelled. I want to cancel it. I don't want them to proceed. I think it's cancel. I don't want them to approve it. Wait, hold on. I just want to double check I'm doing the right thing. Okay. There is not any sort of thing. I think I want to say cancel it. Yes! I made the right decision. I made the right decision. I wanted the plaintiff to win, or the plaintiff to win. I wanted them plankton. I wanted the plankton to win. Now they're probably going to judge me for that, but I think that it needs to be cancelled. Supreme Court is considering a new judge appointments. What are your thoughts on this? We are working overtime a lot. It could be beneficial. We have a sufficient number of judges now. I think we have a sufficient number of judges right now. An assault. How many cases are there? Next one's a murder. Okay, let's see. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I think we can do one more. Let's do it. Assault. Why is that guy looking at me like that? Okay, do we have notes? I think I made the right decision. Today, an envelope arrived in the courthouse on your behalf. We left the envelope on your desk. Who's that from? The mayor? Good news for you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I mentioned yesterday that the case from yesterday has put you in the spotlight. There's some criticism from, a user posted an unfavorable post about you on social media. Lastly, oh, who the fuck? Wait, what did they say? Come here, you little snake. I would have liked to have a girlfriend who is a judge by profession. Okay, weird. Don't you think that the punishment for some crimes should be increased? What do we need to do to file the petition with the court? What do you need to do to go? Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. Don't you think the punishment for some crimes should be increased? Boom. What do we need to do to file a petition with the court? Go to court and we'll sort you right out. Do you need to go to college to become a judge? Done. I'm catching up on my social media. There you go. Who am I following? Alright. So, someone said a mean thing about me. I don't care. Right, let's see. We didn't get any notes. Oh, an envelope on my desk. Dear Judge, I would like to introduce myself to you. I'm a wealthy businessman in this country who uses my money for the good of the country. I am highly respected by important figures in this country. Unfortunately, my son is unjustifiably accused in the case that you will take today. Bye-bye. Bye. I am not having it. Not having it. Let it fucking drop down. Not seem to care about whoever the agenda of just working overtime. There doesn't seem to be any chance of this. Boom. Try catch me. Try catch me. Don't sit down. Stand up. My client wanted to cross the street because his green light was on. Okay. However, despite the red light being on for the vehicles at the time, a car hit her. Therefore, she is complaining against the car owner. Absolutely fair. Rebecca, you gotta get something for me here. Holy shit, Rebecca. My client acknowledges that the car in question belonged to him. However, he denies driving the car that day. He mentioned that he took off his jacket at a party he attended and that the car keys were in the jacket pocket. Okay. When he wanted to leave the party, he couldn't find the jacket or the car. He stated that he thought one of his close friends had taken the car. So he went home. Interesting. All right. It's quite well. Yeah. Okay. Your Honor, there exists a past relationship between the witness Eva, who has been summoned to the court. My client that ended in a bitter separation. Therefore, her responses will undoubtedly be biased. We request that you reject her testimony. No, I reject that objection. I want to hear her out. If I feel like she's being bitter, I'm just going to dismiss what she's saying. She's been subpoenaed for a reason, so unless she gives me any other reason to, I'm not going to take that on board. Eeny, meeny, miny. This one. You will not receive any punishment for this case. Ooh. That's good. Right, let's have a look. Yeah. Everyone shut up. That's very clearly a red light. It's been a red light for a while. Crossing and badoom. Who's that? Get out. Get out and... Oh. Very odd that the camera just seems to not work the second that you're supposed to be coming out of the car. Right. Weird. Weird that. Okay. Let's have a look. Last week on Monday about 11 p.m., the car hit a pedestrian. The pedestrian is not in danger of death, but will need to use a wheelchair for a long time. Fuck. Rachel Brown is complaining against the owner of the car for this reason, but the car owner, Chris, claims that he did not drive the car on the day. The police arrived at the scene to report that there was no one in the car because they ran like a little bitch. Okay, I did see that, so that is fine. Let's have a look at the law here. If a motor vehicle collides with a pedestrian by violating traffic laws, as a result of this collision, the pedestrian is injured or loses their life, the culpable driver shall be deemed to be committed offence of injury or death resulting from the traffic incident. In the event that the defendant driver causes injury to the pedestrian, they may be sentenced to imprisonment ranging from 2 to 6 years. 2 to 6 years. Yeets. $200K. If this is taken into account of the severity of the injuries, I think that there. If the accident results in from discrimination based on factors such as religion, language, or race, then the penalty may be increased further. Okay, let's find out. Thank you. I'll just put this down. Thank you. Okay. Let's hear out the defendant. What's the last thing you remember before the incident? It was in the evening. I wanted to cross the street, but then I heard a screeching sound. After that, there's nothing else. I vaguely remember the car, but I'm not sure, to be honest. When I came to, I was in the hospital. Okay. Alright, Rachel, I appreciate you. Did you have a chance to see the person who was driving the car? No. As I said, I only heard a painful screeching sound. It's a bad memory. Okay, Rachel, thank you so much for your time. Defendant Chris Smith. Can you tell us what happened on the day of the incident, Chris? I attended a party hosted by my close friends. The car keys were in my jacket pocket. When it got too hot inside, I took my jacket off and placed it on the seat. I had been drinking, so I called my driver to drive my car. Okay. What did you do when your designated driver arrived? I told him where my car was, and I asked him to find my jacket. But later he came back to me and said that my jacket was nowhere to be found, and my car was not there, and where I had told him. Okay. What did you do when you couldn't find your car or your keys? The party I attended was my close friend, so I thought one of them might have taken it. So I asked my driver to call a taxi for me, and then I took a taxi and went home. I didn't do anything different on the day of the incident. Okay. That seems oddly specific. Okay, let's speak to this witness. Eva, you better have something interesting to bring to the table here, because otherwise I'm not very happy right now. Can you describe what you saw on the day of the incident? I was having a good time at the party, but I haven't been drinking for a long time, so I didn't drink that night either. Some of my friends who came to the party with me left early, so I was sitting alone. At one point, I saw Chris take his jacket and move it to a different room. Okay. I saw Chris leave the house, but a few minutes later, around 11:10 p.m., when I went outside for some fresh air, I couldn't see Chris or his car. 11:10. When did this happen? What time? It's a dark-haired person. I can't really... The problem is with this, I can't really... Let's have a look here. History tab. What time did she say? She said evening time. She didn't really give a time. I think the only person who's actually given a time is her. So what time did they say that this occurred at? Oh, it's about 20 minutes after she said. I saw Chris leave the house, but a few minutes later, I went outside for some fresh air, and I couldn't see Chris or his car. Okay. Thank you very much. See, the only issue is, right? The only issue that I have is I don't have solid evidence that I can turn around and say that he was driving the car. He mentioned he took off his jacket at the party, yeah. So the problem is, see, the problem, he is anxious. He is anxious, but I can't convict him. Like, also, the person who did it looks like they had dark hair, so I can't even... there's no actual solid evidence to this. The only person I had a witness to it said that he wasn't there, but sure, he was saying that his car wasn't there anyways when he wasn't there, because he went home. But the times match up, but that's just not enough. That's not enough evidence. Unfortunately, I can't, without any further decisions on this, I can't do any. I would like to find him. Imprison him. Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, like, as much as the government aren't gonna like it, he's innocent. He is. Why are they all saying that it's not good? Like I can't. There's no evidence that says he's guilty. I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't. Your children is expressing unhappiness at a public school and wants to switch to a private school. What are your thoughts on this? My children said, yeah, that's fine. Let's go. Private school straight away. A murder. Murder. Oh my god, there's a load of cases in here. What's this one? I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. I think I did the right one there. I'm gonna jump just to this point here and hope that I don't have an email. Oh no. It did coincide, but it doesn't mean that he did it. See, that's the thing. He claimed to have found the missing jacket later in the evening. I disagree. I do disagree with that. But, like, listen, I can't really do much about it. I feel like I should have just fined him. Also, I feel like the decision thing and how it affects my family and stuff like that shouldn't be there. I shouldn't see that. I don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean? I should have, I knew he was guilty, but I just couldn't. There wasn't enough evidence. It coincided. It is likely that has happened, but... Oh, there was a lawsuit. Oh, no. He wasn't going for criminal. It was civil, so it was likely. Shit. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, so just for the people who may not know, and for the people that do know, I'm acknowledging my fault, okay? So, there's two types of court. There is criminal and civil. Criminal, you have to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that the person has done this. So there can't be a shred of doubt in your mind that this person did it. Otherwise, they have to go free. That's how I was treating this case, because it was down as an assault case, which is criminal. But she was suing him, which is civil, which means that it just has to be likely that it happened, which is there is an element of reasonable doubt in there, but it has to be likely that has taken place. And because it was very likely that took place at that time, but also the CCTV, that was a different person. Just saying, that was a different person, a different color hair. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's why I was wrong, because I treated it as a criminal case instead of a civil case. I should have just said it was what it was. I should have just went with my gut. But anyways, I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to be a lawyer in the next one, because I really stupidly enjoy this. But then I saw that there's a murder case. Abso-fucking-lutely, we're doing it next week. 100%, it's happening. Right, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. I love you. And as always, kisses. I don't know why I did that, sorry.